Hi everyone, it's Sarah, and it is time for our October fantasy horror update. I did skip September. I have to remember in the future that September really needs to be where my energy and focus goes to the work I do in the library and not on my writing, and prepare everybody better for that. But for those of you who are watching this, welcome. So what's been going on in the past few months? Harshug is a little on hold, mostly because it's time management and energy management and lots of things that I want to do. But it is coming, and the Ream is set up. You could start your pledge now. But the one thing I like about Ream is that you can just follow me there. You won't be able to read the chapters of Harshug as they get posted, and there will be 2 a month. But you will be able to see when things are posted. There will be public content like these update videos, giveaways, book club, lots of easy, fun things to do that you'll be able to comment on. Now, if you're familiar with a platform like Patreon, it's the same idea. This is just more for readers and writers than it is for creators as a whole. So a lot of the features on Ream are designed to support readers specifically. Like, there will be ways for you to get ebooks. We will be giving away Crowlack and Bribrate. The covers are being redesigned, so I will be giving those away so that you can read those beforehand, because that is what we're going to start with next month when I say this and I'm like, I am setting myself up for failure here, but my hope is that next month you'll be able to do a read-along for Crowlack, and then in December, a read-along for Bribrate, and then January 1st, we start Harshug. It might not be fully proofread by the time you start it, but it's going to be published over a year afterwards. I'm not rushing through this. This is the way books are going to be released. In the future, we'll do the Ream as exclusive early access to the book, and then we will publish it, and the Ream readers will be reading the next book, which of course will be a switch to the Enduring series, since Frozen Wasteland and the Enduring series are connected, and we need to do some catch up with the Enduring series. So start looking for links to the Ream. I will be posting there about a possible book club, which will be reading. We're going to start with Christopher Pike and R.L. Stine and Lois Duncan and revisit the horror teen genres that I loved as a kid that really got me into horror and fantasy beyond the standard Stephen King's, J.R.R. Tolkien. We will explore the universes that inspired the Enduring series, and a little bit of Lovecraft with what inspired Harshug and Bribrate and Crowlack and that whole series. So we will be doing multiple books, and I will post the books list ahead of time so that you can try and find copies easily. The Christopher Pikes are going to be the most difficult because I think a bunch of them are out of print. So we will be doing the Midnight Club relatively soon if you want to try and get your hands on that one. And I do know if you have Libby access through your public library, there are Christopher Pike ebooks on some of those library accounts. So see what you can get. National Novel Writing Month is our next topic. That is coming up in a month. I will be doing it again. And I was just doing my romance video update and explaining that now this typically my plan had been to finish my Austen series this year for the first draft of it. But there's some delays with that, and I can only focus on one of those books at a time, and I talked myself through some logic that you're not going to be subjected to. But I am writing book 2 in the Enduring series. This one is In Search of, Spellcaster. We're taking a cue from the classic wanted pages, classified ads of yesteryear, and this happens in 94, 95, 96, 97, the last half of the last 5 years of the 20th century. So it really sort of fits with that old classified ad feel. This will take us into our world. This world, it's low fantasy. It's going to be a little more urban fantasy than Help Wanted New Devil. We're dealing with the Picard family and the Evanstar line, which are two sort of sister lineages in the magical world. One is a spellcaster line, one is willful magic. So we're going to explore those histories. Since the Picards especially are the most important bloodline to this story, this is the family that is cursed. This is the one that the curse needs to be broken. And they have the most magic, and they have no idea what they're doing with it. So as they learn their family history, the actual ecosystem of magic, you will be along for the ride. And we get to start with Sabine and Carly and Andy. Sabine is one of the Picards in the royal family, so to speak. They are not royals anymore. But that is also a plot line. Like, what happened to them? Not good. And they are very angry. Still hundreds of thousands of years later. Well, actually thousands of years later. Carly is the Evanstar heir. She's the spellcaster. Her magic is words or language. She is a writer. She is a storyteller. Specifically for her, it ends up being film as her storytelling process, but that you'll see. And then there's Andy. Andy is a mystery, and we will not be talking about him in more depth, but he is our third main character, but we will not be getting his POV much. We will get some of his POV because he's dealing with some shit. He is not in a good space, but that is the story. So we will also get to meet Rhiannon. If you have read in my Austen romance series, Love from Northanger Park's Katie, that's the Disney-inspired one, you get to meet Rhiannon, but Rhiannon now. We're gonna meet Rhiannon in her mid-20s when she was just beginning to figure out her place as the royal heir, as the who would be a queen if they were still in charge of France. And we get to meet Margot, her sister, the oracle, the family scribe. She is our record keeper. She will come in and out of the narration because she is the storyteller of the Picards. And yes, she and Carly will share a very specific bond because of that. And we will talk to Anne and Death again. They are going to welcome us into the story. This is them. Because things are happening, they are watching as if this is their personal TV show. So Anne's going to be able to ask questions that a reader might ask about what the hell is going on. I think this will be a bigger novel than Help Wanted New Devil because we're going to be dealing with not just a number of point of views, but a number of plot lines. We have Sabine's cousins. They are triplets. They are French, and the French have plans for them. This is an alternative version of our universe. So there are sort of real things that have gone on that are in our world that do impact them. Like 9/11 is going to happen in their world too. But also there might be another Windsor sibling, like someone younger than Edward, who connects to this. Like Margot's in love with a British prince, essentially. It's going to be its own novella at some point because I love their story. It's a second chance. It's totally romance with magic. I love Margot. I love all of the cards. I'm going to be honest. They're like my sisters. So I get like 4 sisters on top, 3 more on top of Katie. That's how much time I've spent with these characters in my head. So that's going to be part of what I do in November. And I say part of what I do in November, it's going to be like 150,000 words. I don't think I'm going to finish this first draft, which is why I'm not rushing to start the Harshug advanced reading, early access reading, because like I think I can write this quickly. It's just going to be a lot to write. And I did start some of it in July. I realized I had to finish Harshug, so it got put aside. But when I went back to read some of the things as part of this prep month for me, we call it Preptober because we're preparing for National Novel Writing Month. I realized I tried to introduce too many characters at once. Like, I introduced the brother, Sabine's brother, Isaac. He does not need to be introduced. His job is not till later in the series. he can be mentioned. And then I'm trying to introduce Carly's family, and I realized very quickly there's too many people to keep track of. You need a few chapters with just Carly, Sabine, and Andy, and that's it. Other people can be mentioned, but they're the three you keep track of. Anne and Death welcome us into the world. So, going back to go, but I do know I have a very strong sense of where we're going. As in, this might write itself at some point, and I'm really, really excited. On the other end, so at the end of October is going to be a witchy book blast, a stuff your e-reader day for witchy, fantasy, magical, cozy mysteries, all sorts of paranormal romance, like anything with sort of witchy themes. There's going to be a free ebook blast. So there's lots of stuff your e-reader days coming up this next year. But this one is going to be like the 28th of October. It's just one day. And Help Wanted New Devil is going to be included in it for free. So if you haven't gotten that book yet, this is your chance to get it for free, knowing nothing's coming out for a while. I want to do this because I want more people to read this book and get excited about these characters and the series, because I love it so much. I think other people will as well. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, it's on Amazon. It's been on Amazon all year, but it's also on Barnes & Noble now and on Kobo. Kobo is only the ebook. Barnes & Noble will have the paperback soon. I promise. I have to make some tweaks to the cover with the cover designers to make it work because they're a pain in my butt. Barnes & Noble, a pain in my butt. This is just going to be said. But that will be on 3 platforms for you to get the ebook copy. And I'm really excited that all 3 are ready to go. Kobo has all the books that I've written, all the Sara Marks fantasy and horror and the short story collection, hashtag Rescue Me. They're all on Kobo. Bri is on Barnes & Noble. Crowlack is not. The paperback is. The ebook is not. It's complicated. It's dumb. I don't want to talk about it. You don't want to hear about it. I promise you. But I will send reminders to the email list on the 28th so that you know I think this is going to get up before the newsletter on the 5th, maybe the next newsletter goes out. I can't even remember. It will have information so that you can sign up to get reminders about the email blast going out from the website organizing it. I'm super excited about this one. I'm hoping to find a horror one for the horror books so that you guys can get those free. But remember, Crowlack is almost perma-free right now. I think I just have to make that official on Amazon. But it's super cheap if it isn't. I've tried to make it as cheap as I can, I think. Oh my God. Mental note, do that. So that's where things are this month. There will be updates about National Novel Writing Month. Look for those. But I will be very focused on my writing because this book needs some attention. And I have a whole month and a challenge ahead of me. So have a great rest of your October. I hope you follow or join the Ream so that you can get advanced and early access to Harshug. And I look forward to sharing details about Help Wanted New Devil with you as it goes. I'll talk to you next month. Bye.